Hi, my name is Casey Olsen. I am a sophomore in the business school studying finance and international business, and I am from Milton, Massachusetts. So I first got involved with the Psaros Center back in the fall of last year. Actually, my first week on campus, I went to the Back to Business tabling fair in front of the business school, and I met with one of the current FinPolicy scholars at the time, who spoke to her experience with the center at FMQ, some of their other networking events, and actually the FinPolicy track at the end of the year, and said that despite her involvement in some other clubs on campus, she thought it was one of the most valuable things she had gotten herself involved with at Georgetown so far. And so it seemed super interesting. Finance and policy was kind of a general intersection that I had already explored as the summer before I had come in interning for my local state senator at the Massachusetts State House and kind of got to see a general overview of how policy might affect sort of the broader economy and stuff like that. And so I felt really inclined to kind of involve myself, get to know a little bit more of the finance world and market work inner workings, and also see how that plays into federal policy that's right down the street from us, since we are at like the epicenter of finance and policy being in DC. I think one of my favorite experiences during the Fin Policy Trek was our first day when we entered the New York section of the trek. Our very first meeting in the morning was at JP Morgan Asset Management with Mary Eridos and her team, and they invited us to come sit in during their morning meetings. They do something like that every morning. It's something that Mary prides herself in because she calls it mini university. They do updates, general understandings, and kind of give their entire workforce a heads up of what to expect given during the day. And so it was super informative. It was really cool to be in the front row. They had put us in a special section, and Mary had even shouted us out, which was really cool to feel that recognition and then have the opportunity to speak with herself and some of the other people at JP. Immediately following the meeting, it was cool to get that really inside perspective. That's something that you can't get from networking and just talking to people. I feel like being in that room and kind of hearing the inner workings of their business and what goes on at the firm was something that was really important to me as I enter kind of this process of figuring out what I want to do in life and what career I want to pursue. So again, touching on what I sort of spoke about before, this track is giving you firsthand information as to what it's like inside these giant financial offices and firms. You can speak to people online, network with them, and hear their personal experiences, but those are not unique to yourself. And actually understanding what goes on as you see people actively doing their work on a sales and trading floor is really, really interesting to me. And I think not only furthered my interest in kind of the financial sector and also how it interplays with policy, but also the fact that you were just this is an opportunity that you can't get anywhere else. And as a now sophomore, former freshman, it's kind of hard to know what you want to do in life. Things can feel like they're moving super fast, and that you have to decide pretty early on, especially for some of these careers and the recruitment that goes on within them. But I do feel as if this better prepared me as a whole for understanding what goes on and just being able to deduce from there what particularly interests me and how I can apply myself, get involved, and learn more about these sectors to prepare myself for the impending recruitment cycles that start now, but mostly next January. Yeah, so the Psaros Center, the first event that I did do, I was volunteering for the Financial Markets Quality Conference last fall. Super cool event, headlined by Jamie Dimon, and really cool way to talk to these um, just highly important people internationally. I remember one instance I spoke to David Schwimmer, um, who is this huge name, the CEO of the London Stock Exchange Group, and I felt like I didn't know anything and wasn't prepared to talk to him and have a formalized conversation about maybe business or current happenings in the world. And he was actually the first person that spoke to me and just asked me how my transition to Georgetown was and how my family was doing at home. So kind of those personal conversations also helps you further how you view this industry and kind of take away kind of the scares that I might have had. And so going forwards, I decided to continue to stay involved and go to these networking events and panels hosted by the Psaros Center because it's a way to connect with people pretty almost one-on-one most of the time. And it's a really good way to just not hear from a giant panel with thousands of people in the room. It can get super personable and can be extra beneficial to impact your individual situation. I also applied to be a student program ambassador this year. And fortunately, the Psaros team has given me the opportunity to do so. So I'm now working with the center, helping them with just making sure events run smoothly. Anything involved in planning is super important, but can be super tedious for such a small team. And so being able to help them on that level and also continue to attend all of their events is something that will be a priority for me this fall and going forwards.